At 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin tonight on the forecast. It may still be spring, but summer weather is on its way. Thanks for joining us here for the news at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Yes, summer weather this week. In fact, take a look at the projected temperatures. We're in for a big warm up. We could even break 90 degrees outside this Wednesday.
Oh, be still my beating heart. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast, Rach.
Yeah, it just gets warmer and warmer as the week progresses, and we've had temperatures in the 80s so far, but yeah, we might be able to approach 90 degrees for areas like Windsor Locks later this week, so maybe the hottest temperatures of the season, and to get a stretch of them in a row, that certainly makes it feel a little bit more like summer. But I do want to stress, it will be cooler at the Connecticut shoreline through the week. Instead of highs in the 80s, we're looking at 70s, but still plenty beautiful down to the beaches as well. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s for New Haven, low 60s right now for the Hartford area, and most of the state is in the upper 50s to low 60s. We've got a calm evening out there, although we will see clouds increase a little bit as we head towards daybreak. We're looking at overnight lows in the 50s, and tomorrow any early low clouds or fog will break for sunshine and temperatures will get off to the races. We're looking at high temperatures in the lower to middle 80s away from the shoreline, and at the beaches we'll be holding closer to the 70-degree mark, but again above average across the state, and the numbers only continue to grow. We'll talk about it. Plus, we're going to time out the chance for showers and storms later this week, and a surge in humidity too coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Still developing out of New Haven tonight, police investigating a homicide near Ferry and Wolcott Streets. Police say they got to the scene around 1 this afternoon on a report of shots fired. About an hour later, they posted on X that it is now a homicide investigation. That's all the details they've released. However, we are monitoring the situation, and we will bring you any updates on air and on our website, fox61.com.
Another reported shooting in the Elm City. This time police say a man shot his roommate after an argument. Police say it happened on Richmond Avenue around 3 o'clock Sunday morning. But for some reason, the man shot only called them about it 13 hours later. Police went to the house and arrested 48-year-old Daniel Campbell without incident. Man shot was only minorly injured. Campbell's facing several charges.
Well, new at 10 tonight, 2 of the biggest utility companies in the state are preparing for the summer. July 1st is when new electric rates go into effect.
Now, if you have Eversource or United Illuminating, the costs will vary, and there is a lot that goes into managing your electric bill. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joins us in studio now to break down the new rates and how customers are responding. I'm sure not well, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, par for the course, right? Brent and Sarah, but before we tell you about those new rates, I wanted to take a moment to break down how those new rates will actually impact your wallet. Now, to understand how your bill is calculated overall, now, of course, your bill is impacted by how much electricity you use. Here's an example of a standard Eversource bill. There's a lot to go over, so let's go in a little bit closer and break down these 4 major components. For Eversource and United Illuminating customers, your bill is made up of 4 categories. The first one is the supply costs. Now, both Eversource and UI have to buy power from third parties because state law actually prohibits them from owning power plants, and this amount in this section goes directly to those companies and is dependent on the price of natural gas and the global market. Now, the second is the transmission portion of your bill, which pays for the upkeep of larger power lines that go beyond state lines. This section of your bill is actually regulated by the federal government. And the third is the local delivery category. Now, this amount that goes to either Eversource or UI and pays for the upkeep of those smaller power lines that go to your home or business. This is also where your money goes to help fund restoration efforts when the power goes out. This is handled by state regulators, and they decide if these rates can increase or not. And finally, there is the public benefits portion of your bill. Now, state law actually mandates companies to collect these funds of the state utility contracts to help fund those contracts and programs. Now, for example, for people who are struggling to pay their utility bills, that helps them out. Eversource customers can expect a summer surge on their electric bills, despite supply costs going down, which officials say is due to the cost of natural gas. The public benefits cost section will increase by nearly $48 a month for 10 months.
The main driver is that the costs have increased, and in the past, our regulator has not allowed rates to increase at a level that reflect the underlying costs. And so it's just like with a credit card. If you pay a minimum monthly bill at some point in the future, you're going to have to pay off the rest of the balance, and that's what's happened here. We've had costs building up that are now coming due for our customers and resulting in a large increase in the public benefits portion of a customer's bill.
Despite the offset, customers will see an increase of about $8 or 4% on their overall monthly bill. Customers say they're not surprised by the increase.
And every time you look, your wages are going down and all your living expenses are going up. So it makes it harder and harder for, like I'm a senior, you're on a fixed income. So you always have to decide, when am I not going to pay, because you got to have lights. So, I know that they try to maintain the rates, but I know everything else costs. But we really don't like it, and I don't think there's much we could do about it.
The offset in costs for United Illuminating customers will actually result in some savings of about $1.55 on their monthly bills. If they can't get a break on their bills, some Eversource customers are considering changing suppliers in hopes of saving some cash.
Eversource delivery fee is almost double what we pay just for the electric alone. We haven't pulled the trigger yet, but we're most likely going to. I mean, if it's going to be cheaper, then why not?
Now, if you want to explore other options as a supplier, we have a link on our website, fox61.com, and some other tips to help you save money this summer. You may not like it, but increasing your thermostat higher could help you save. Now, every degree above 75 degrees saves you about 3% on your bill. Experts also suggest using ceiling fans to naturally cool your home or close the curtains while you're gone during the warmest part of the day. Reporting live in studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61.
Thank you, Jake. New here at 10, Waterbury police need your help. This car was involved in a hit and run over the weekend. Police say the driver of this four-door Honda Accord struck and killed 46-year-old Dwayne Hunter early Saturday morning. It happened on Chase Avenue. Police believe the Accord is somewhere between a 2003 or 2007 model year. The car would have front-end damage and could be missing a driver's side mirror. If you can identify the owner of the car or have any other information about the crash that could help police, please give Waterbury Police a call.
Well, Southington police are still searching for 4 people who broke into a Southington gun shop and stole several dangerous weapons. They broke into the lock and load gun shop just before 2 a.m. Sunday by smashing the front window. The break-in triggered the shop's alarm system, alerting the owners, who watched the burglary by remote camera. Police arrived within minutes, but they were not in time to prevent the group from getting away with 10 Glock and 6 Hour brand pistols. Suspects took off in what's believed to have been a stolen getaway vehicle.
We pursued it at a distance to obviously get some of the information, attempted to stop it. However, for the safety of the public, we didn't, of course, attempt to get into a pursuit with the vehicle.
Now, police eventually found that vehicle abandoned near a shopping plaza in Cheshire. One stolen gun still inside, but the suspects were nowhere to be found. Southington police say they are confident they will be able to identify the suspects and make arrests. But for now, 9 more guns are on the streets and in the hands of suspected criminals.
A number of Yale students and staff walked out of their graduation ceremony today. They're protesting Yale's investments in weapons manufacturing and Israeli companies. Many of these students were those involved with pro-Palestine demonstrations on campus this spring. University officials say today's protests were peaceful and there were no arrests.
Another protest in Enfield this evening over a budget proposal that would cut 121 teaching jobs there. Dozens of students, parents, and faculty were outside Town Hall ahead of an expected vote on the budget. They were calling on town officials to pass an updated education budget that would include an 8% boost in funding. Currently, the council members have only allocated a 0 to 2% increase. Protesters say the impact on quality of education will be catastrophic for kids.
121 of us were given pink slip, me being one of them, because our budget hasn't passed, and we really need the budget to pass to fund, the education so that the teachers can keep their job and we can educate our children here in Enfield.
A vote on the budget is the last item on tonight's agenda. Members of the town council are still debating as of this hour, and we will update you if they make a decision. Well, since the 2024 legislative session ended a week and a half ago, Governor Ned Lamont has signed 20 new bills into law.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolforce has a recap of what's passed the governor's desk so far.
It will soon be illegal for medical debt to be reported to credit rating agencies. A celebrated measure this session will become law on July 1st. It prohibits Connecticut healthcare providers and hospitals from reporting medical debt to credit rating agencies for use in a credit report and voids any medical debt that is reported to credit rating agencies. The governor also signed a measure trying to tackle emergency room crowding. The Department of Public Health Commissioner must evaluate data about each in-state emergency department and post that data on DPH's website once a year. This data has to include the bed capacity and number of patients treated and admitted to the department, who had to wait in the ED for an available bed, and how long each patient waited. Another possible waiting fix, Lamont giving final approval to a bill creating a working group to give recommendations on waiting list requirements for nursing homes. And a big win for many Democrats this year, the governor's signature on a bill expanding the state's paid family and medical leave law. The measure will allow employees of a tribe-owned business to gain access to the state's paid family and medical leave insurance fund, as well as making victims of sexual assault or abuse eligible for the program. From health care to changes for how cannabis is sold and regulated. Governor Lamont signed one of those measures with 36 different sections on how to restrict and regulate hemp products containing THC, the active ingredient in cannabis. The bill establishes new licensing requirements to sell and grow cannabis products. Dispensaries must submit marijuana samples for testing to check for microbiological contaminants, mycotoxins, heavy metals, and pesticide chemical residue. Another new law creates a task force to study social equity applicants for licenses to grow marijuana. The same bill also prohibits certain retailers, like gas stations and convenience stores, from selling THC-infused beverages. Reporting at the Capitol, Emma Wolforce, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Emma, thank you. Well, new tonight, the Connecticut Supreme Court has ruled against the state election officials in a case regarding campaign ads during the 2014 election season. State Senator Rob Sampson and former Senator Joe Markley, both Republicans, had been fined over publicly funded campaign ads that criticized then-Governor Dannel Malloy. The State Elections Enforcement Commission said the senators violated the rules of the state's public campaign financing program. Well, today, the Supreme Court lifted the fines in a 5-0 decision, ruling the commission infringed on free speech rights.